गणानां त्वा गणपतिगुं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमं ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पत आनशृण्वन्नोतिभिस्सेदसादनं प्रणो देवी सरस्वती वाजेभिर्वाजिनीवती धीनामवेत्रिजवतु गणेशाय नमः सरस्वत्यै नमः श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ ॐ रामानुजदयापात्रं ज्ञानवैराग्यभूषणं श्रीमद्वेङ्कटनाथार्यं वन्दे वेदान्तदेशिकं श्रीमान् वेङ्कटनाथार्य कवितार्किककेसरी वेदान्ताचार्यवर्यो मे सन्निधत्तां सदा हृदि ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वाम् अनुसन्ददामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम् नमोऽस्तु ते व्यासविशालबुद्धे पुल्लारविन्दायतपत्रनेत्र येन त्वया भारततैलपूर्णः प्रज्वालितो ज्ञानमयः प्रदीपः प्रपन्नपारिजाताय स्तोत्रवेकैत्रपाणे ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः सर्वोपनिषदो गावो दोग्धा गोपालनन्दनः पार्थो वत्सः सुधीर्भोक्ता दुग्धं गीतामृतं महत् वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं भीष्मद्रोणतटा जयद्रथजला गान्धारनीलोत्पला शल्यग्राहवती कृपेण वहनी कर्णेन वेलाकुला अश्वत्थामविकर्णघोरमकरा दुर्योधनावर्तिनी सोत्तीर्णा खलु पाण्डवैरणनदी कैवर्तकः केशवः पाराशर्यः सरोजममलं गीतार्थगन्धोत्कटं नानाख्यानककेसरं हरिकथासम्बोधनाबोधितं लोके सञ्जनषट्पदैरहरः पेपीयमानं मुदा भूयाद्भारतपङ्कजं कलिमलप्रध्वंसित श्रेयसे यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुवन्ति दिव्यैः स्तुतैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः। ओम जय श्री कृष्ण। Bhagavad Gita with salutations with Bhagavan Shri Krishna. Let us start the study of Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 1, sloka 1. Dhritarashtra uvacha dharmakshetre kurukshetre समवेतायुयुत्सवः मामकाः पाण्डवाश्चैव किमकुर्वत Sanjaya. At the battlegrounds of Kurukshetra, which is also the Dharmakshetra, the holy field, whole Pavitra Bhumi, where yajnas are conducted, sacrifices are conducted. In that holy place, have assembled various warriors of all ranks with keen desire to fight. They are, Dhritarashtra says, Mamakaha, my people, and Pandavaha, Pandu's sons. And he asks his charioteer and also narrator of the whole war, Sanjaya, and the minister and the fighter, Sanjaya. He asks him, what do these people do in that battlefield? As I said earlier, this is a setting which is in a war field. In order to decide on the issue of the rulership of the Rajya, Dhritarashtra, who should have honestly, straightforward, sincerely handed over the power to Pandavas on their reaching maturity, doesn't want to do that because he wants his sons to take over. And that not being agreed to under any conditions, the war became inevitable. And that's the war we are talking about. And Dhritarashtra is asking Sanjaya as to what is happening on the war field. There are several points to be noted here. Psychology is a great thing to be taken into account. Dhritarashtra, who is the caretaker for the young Pandavas, should be impartial to his as well as his brother's sons. On the other hand, the Putra Pasha over-dominates here. He differentiates between the two as Mamakaha, my children, and Pandavaha, Pandu's children. And secondly, he even now has a fond hope that Dharmaraja, the eldest of the Pandavas, might abandon the war if he is given a slight provocation. He says, Dharmakshetre, he wants to remind Dharmaraja that look, you are fighting a battle on a holy field. A battle should not be fought according to Dhritarashtra. So he expects Dharmaraja to take the message and leave the battlegrounds. Once he leaves, other Pandavas will follow, and there will be no war, and Kauravas will take over the ruling of the country without a war. And nobody can blame Dhritarashtra of being partial to his sons. See how much of thought has gone into that blind man's head. The man was blind not only physically, but also ethically, emotionally, and morally. So he uses very carefully chosen word, Dharmakshetre. He starts with emphasis on the word one, Dharmakshetra. Dharmakshetre, Kurukshetre, Samavetaha Yuyutsavaha, gathered together at Kurukshetra, the holy field of religious activities, Mamakaha Pandavaha Chaiva, my people and Pandu's sons, Kimakurvata Sanjaya, what did they do, Sanjaya? Asks Dhritarashtra. This sloka number 1 sets in motion the entire story of the war and the Bhagavad Gita. That's therefore a very important slogan. Now, the first chapter contains 46 slokas. For the purpose of clarity of understanding, I would like to divide it into 6 parts. Part 1 is the very first sloka. which I said is important because it sets the tone for the entire Bhagavad Gita. The second part is slokas 2 to 20, in which Duryodhana narrates who have assembled on both sides, the Kauravas and Pandava sides. Next, part 3 is 21 to 23 slokas, where Arjuna is shown to be impatient to start the war and get rid of the Kauravas. He is very impatient. He is keen, eager to launch a war. Therefore, he is so impatient and he comes forward to survey who all have assembled. Slokas 24 to 27, the fourth part, describe that Arjuna looks at the venerable, respectable elders on both sides of the battlefields. And that looking at the venerable ones has a big role to play. It generates Bhagavad Gita. How? In the next part 5, that is slokas 28 to 30, we find Arjuna's mental conflict. Arjuna, who was very eager to fight the war, very impatient to start the war. When he looked at the various faces of the people present over here, you should not interfere me. With the mental conflict, he is described in the next few slokas. And the last part, slokas 31 to 46, show the fantastic argument put forward by Arjuna. All fallacious ideas, all wrong ideas, or mistaken ideas as a result of worldly attachments, attachment towards the relatives. So, Arjuna gets into a despondent situation. Arjuna, Vishada, despondency of Arjuna, that is described in those 16 slokas from 31 to 46. Chapter 1 ends with the Nishada of Arjuna, and therefore the title for the chapter, Arjuna Vishada Yoga, the despondency of Arjuna. Right, now going into the detail, let us see. Sloka number 2. Sanjaya uvacha drishtva tu pandavanekam vyudam duryodhanastada acharyamupasangamya raja vachanamabhravid. Raja, Duryodhana is referred to by the term Raja. Sanjaya says, O Dhritarashtra, now see what is happening there. Drishtva tu Pandavanekam vyudam Duryodhanaha tata acharyam upasangamya raja vachanam abravite. Now, seeing the Pandava army, Pandavanekam, arrayed properly, Vyudam, Duryodhana, the prince Duryodhana, Tada, then Acharyam Upasangamya, the Acharya of both sides, Drona, but who is fighting on the side of the Kauravas, as he is bitten by the bee of gratitude, Acharyam Upasangamya, approaching Dronacharya, Bachanam Abravit, spoke these words. You know, when a small child is afraid, it will immediately go and hide its face in the mother's pallu. Similarly here, Duryodhana, on looking at the Pandavas' army, gets scared. Even though physically, in terms of numbers, Kauravas' army is much bigger than the Pandavas' army. But unfortunately, Kauravas' army consists of all the princes who have come to support him and therefore had no training of fighting the war together. You might have seen in the newspapers so many countries joining together, carrying out a battle exercise. That exercise is a must, because when you are actually in a battle, there are so many issues that crop up which you have not anticipated. By holding the exercise, you get an inkling of such problems. So the training of the armies is very, very important. Many people think in the peacetime the armies enjoy. On the other hand, it is in the peacetime the armies were having a much tougher time than in the wartime. In the wartime, they have no choice. They just fight as the situation demands. In the peacetime, you have to prepare for that war. That is a tougher job. That has not been done by Kauravas' army. That is because various kings have come with their armies from various places. And therefore, there is no joint training of the people. Whereas, in the case of, Whereas, in the case of Pandavas' army, it's a well-trained, always ready, anticipating a war is definitely going to ensue because Duryodhana is not going to agree to any peace terms. He is ready. Therefore, a look at the very army shows who is going to be mightier. And that has created fear in the Duryodhana's mind, and he immediately approaches his Acharya, his Guru. And he tells him, number 3 shloka, Paschaitam Panduputranam Acharya Mahatim Chamum Vyudam Drupadaputrena Tavasishyena Dhimata. Pashya, behold, what? Etam Panduputranam, He Acharya, Etam Panduputranam, these sons of the Pandu, look at them. And look at their Mahatim Chamum, mighty army, the great army. Vyudam, it is marshaled, well prepared, properly put in various places according to the way the battle is going to be fought. By whom? By Drupada Putrena, by the son of Drupada, Tavasishyena, by your disciple Dhimata, talented. By the talented son of Drupada, the Pandava army has been prepared for the war and they have been marshaled in appropriate places. And by whom? By Drupada Putra. And who has trained him? You, Acharya, have trained. He is taunting Dronacharya. He is taunting Dronacharya for having trained all those people who are standing on the other side of the war. In the first place, that is a misplaced taunt, because Dronacharya was the Acharya of the clan, and therefore he is duty bound to train all the princes Pandavas as well as Kauravas, and that's what he did. When that is the case, to say that you have trained those fellows, you didn't even know that one day they are going to turn against Kauravas, that is your own side. Without that forethought, you have taken the action of training them. Duryodhana is known for his sarcasm. He is known for talking words without respect. And that's what he does here. Pasyetam Panduputranam he acharya mahatim chamum. He acharya Panduputranam mahatim chamum pasya. See the great army of the Panduputras. And who have marshalled them? Your Shishya. Vyudam Drupada Putrena Tava Shishyena Dhimata. And how is that Shishya? Dhimata. Very talented person. He is marshalling the army of Pandavas. Sloka number 4. Atra Sura Maheshvasa Bhimarjuna Samayudhi Yuyudhano Viratascha Dripadascha Maharataha. Now, he is describing the Pandava army. Atra, in that battlefield, Kurukshetra, Dharmakshetra, Shuraha, great courageous people. Maheshvasaha, Maha Ishu Vasaha. Ishu means arrow. Those who are adept in arrow, in the bow and arrow fight. Mighty archers. Bhima Arjuna Samaha. Each one of them is equivalent to Bhima and Arjuna in their mastery over the archery. Yudhi, in the battle, Yuyudhanaha, Yuyudhana, Virata, Drupada, all of whom are Maharataha, champions of fighting from the chariots, great chariot warriors. Continuing, Drishtaketuschegitanaha Kasirajascha Viryavan Purujit Kunti Bojascha Shaibhyascha Narapungavaha. Drishtaketuhu, a king by name Drishtaketu, Chekitana by name, who is Kashi Raja, king of Kashi. Viryavan Purujit, the valiant king. Kunti Boja, another king by name Kunti Boja. Shaibhya, son of Shaibhya. And Narapungavaha, the best of men. Duryodhana is pointing out the various kings who are on the side of Pandava by name Drishtaketu, Chekidana, Kashiraja, Purujit, Kunti Boja, Shaibhya, all of them the best among the men. It is not that Dronacharya doesn't know them. It is the fear of Duryodhana which is reflected in seeing, my God, see who are all present on the other side. And we have come to fight against them. Continuing, Yudhamanyuscha Vikranta Uttamojascha Viryavan Saubhadro Draupadeyascha Sarvayeva Maharataha. Sarvayeva Maharataha. In this chariot war also, there are classification of the grade of the pupil according to their efficiency, according to their fighting capability. And in that, Maharataha is the highest grade of the warriors fighting, sitting on the Ratha. And who are they here present in Pandava side are Yudhamanyu, who is courageous, Vikrantaha. Uttamojascha, Viryavan, very brave. Who? Uttamoja. Saubadraha, Draupadeyascha. Saubadraha, the son of Subhadra, Krishna's sister, and Arjuna's wife. Draupadeyaha, the sons of Draupadi, and all of whom are great warriors. My dear sir, please look at them. Next shloka. Asmakam tu vishishtaha etan nibodha dvijottama nayaka sainyasya samjnatam tan bravimite. He Dvijottama. Dronacharya was a Brahmin. And that too Uttama Brahmin. Dvija Uttama. So he is addressing Dronacharya. He Dvijottama. Asmakam tu Visishtaha. No doubt, our people are distinguished chiefs. Yetan nibodha Dvijottama. Asmakam. Our people, they are best among the warriors. And Nayakaha, they are the leaders. They are also present here. It is not that only Pandava's great warriors are present. Our warriors who are present are also great in their own right. Asmakam ta Vishishtaha. Our kings, our warriors, our side people are also great, distinguished chiefs. Tan Nibodha. Now I will describe who are present from our side. Please know about them. And they are the Nayakas, leaders of Mama Sainyasya, my army. Dronacharya, doesn't he know that? Again, Duryodhana is trying to take some consolation that, well, I also have got good people, great people. Tane samjnartam, te samjnartam, for your recognition. Dronacharya doesn't need to recognize, he knows very well. However, says Duryodhana, Than te samjnartam bravimi. Let me describe them also for your understanding, who are present from our side. When he says all these words, Duryodhana has come to the sense that he has been disrespectful to Dronacharya. Firstly, he taunted him saying, you have trained these people who are standing opposite to us. You should have known that they are going to turn against us one day. You didn't know it. You had done the training. And secondly, they are all great people. And from our side also, there are great people. He must have realized, look, I am carrying coal to Newcastle. I am telling things which he already knows. Therefore, he tries to make up for his indifferent behavior, disrespectful behavior. In the next shloka, he says, Bhavan Bhishmascha Karnascha Kripascha Samitinjayaha Ashwathama Vikarnascha Saumadattistataivacha. He starts description of his own army. What is the natural thing to do? We are to talk about the chief, the marshal of the army first, because he is the foremost among them. And who is that? That he is not doing it. He is not talking about that field marshal of the Kaurava army, that is the great Bhishma. But he says, Bhavan, yourself. Among the recognizable war leaders of Kaurava army, he says, you are there, first person. He wants to give him that credit so that to pacify him. Bhavan, and then he says the chief of the army, Bhishma, Karna, Kripa, Samitinjayaha, all of them are victorious in their wars. Earlier wars that they have fought, they have all been victorious. And also Ashwathama, the son of Dronacharya himself, Vikarnaha, Saumadatti, all these people are present asmakam from our side. Anye cha bahava shuraha madarte tyakta jivitaha nana sastra praharanaha sarve yuddha visaradaha. After having named a few important generals, now Duryodhana says, Anyecha bahavaha suraha. There are also other great warriors, heroes, who madarte tyakta jivitaha are prepared to give up their life for my sake, and who are nana sastra praharanaha, armed with a various number of weapons and missiles. And how are they? Sarve yuddha visaradaha. Visara indicates skill, ability. Yuddha visaradaha, who are highly skilled in fighting, in battle. Sarve, all of them, without exception. And yet, therefore, there are other heroes well trained in warfare who are equipped with various weapons and missiles, and they are prepared to lay down their lives for my sake, says Duryodhana. And he continues, Aparyaptam tadasmakam balam bhishma virakshitam Paryaptam tvidame tesham balam bhima virakshitam. The two sides are protected by their marshals, by their chiefs. Bhishma on the Kaurava side, Bhima on the Pandava side. Duryodhana now makes a comparison between the two. He says, Asmakam balam, our strength, Tade, that is aparyaptam, unlimited. There is no limit to it. It is so strong. Aparyaptam tate asmakam balam. That fighting capability, strength of our army is unlimited. And that is protected by whom? By Bhishma, the great warrior. The greatest warrior of the day was Bhishma. And he is protecting that army, guiding that army. And what about Pandava's army? It is protected by Bhima, just a prince who has just got the majority. And Yetesham tu, these people's army is what? Paryaptam, limited, insufficient, have not got enough experience. Aparyaptam tadasmakam balam bhishma abhirakshitam. Unlimited is the strength of our army, protected by Bhishma, led by Bhishma, whereas limited, insufficient, untrained is the army of Pandavas, led by Bhima. Duryodhana is again making a mistake. In the army, armed forces, the first training that is given is, have full confidence in you, be proud of your power, valor, good enough. But do not underestimate the enemy. Do not think that the enemy is weaker. Give credit to the strength and capability and the training of the enemy also. Why? Because the moment you think that he is untrained, lower instinct than me, then you become slightly indifferent, you become careless, and that paves the way for defeat. Never underestimate the enemy. Whereas here Duryodhana is underestimated the enemy. He says, my army is aparyaptam, their army is paryaptam. Again shows the character of Duryodhana. Next, moving on to sloka number 11. I am going a little fast because the first 1.5 chapters are just a description of the story. Purva Pitika, introduction to the Gita. Okay? Ayaneshu cha sarveshu yatha bhagam avastitaha bhishmameva bhirakshantu bhavantas sarva eva hi. Now, he is addressing Dronacharya and his entire army, because all are listening. He is standing before them and addressing them. He says, Ayaneshu cha, Ayana means the various divisions of the army. Okay? Ayaneshu cha sarveshu, in all the divisions of the army, Yathabhagam avasthitaha. Everyone has been positioned in various places according to the role they are going to play. Ratha, Gaja, Turaga, Pada, Adi. Ratha, fighters on the Ratha. What is equivalent to the cavalry today? Gaja, elephant. Pada, foot soldiers. Turaga, horse soldiers. Comparable to our armored corps, our artillery, our infantry, and other services. They all have got their relative positions in the army. We need not go into the battle techniques, but enough for me to tell you that depending upon the range of firing, depending upon the distance that is required between the gun and the enemy, these guns and equipments and the foot soldiers are placed in various places. That is what is meant by Yatha Bhagam Avasthitaha, positioned according to their role, their position in the battlefield. How to arrange a battlefield. That one is talked about in Yatha Bhagam. Yatha Bhagam Avasthitaha Ayaneshu cha Sarveshu. In all divisions of the army, they have been placed in their appropriate place from where they are going to fight. And now, you generals, you troops, Bhishma will take care of the whole army. Don't bother. He will do the fighting. Just do according to what he says. Protect him. Bhishmam eva abhirakshantu. You protect him. Because he is the one who is leading and guiding the war. If you capture him, the war is then closed. So don't allow him to be captured. Protect him. Bhishmam eva abhirakshantu. Bhavantaha sarva evahi. All of you stand around him, take instructions from him, and protect him. See that the enemy doesn't come anywhere near him or anyway affect him. Sloka number 12. Tasya sanjanayan harsham kuru vriddha pitamaha simhanadam binadyochaihi shankam dadbau pratapavan. In Hindi they say, Choti Mukh Badi Baat. Dronacharya is a great Acharya who has trained Duryodhana. And Duryodhana is now coming and telling, Dronacharya, do this, do that, here are the people, here are those people, who is great. All absolutely meaningless talk. Drona says, enough is enough. So what he does, as Duryodhana is speaking, he takes a conch and blows the conch. Blowing the conch is an indication, oh warring soldiers, be ready, the battle is going to start. In our puja also, when we blow the horn, conch, what does it signify? The puja has started. It's an announcement. So that's what Pitamaha Dronacharya does. And Bhishma does. Bhishma, the mighty grandsire, he is fed up of his Duryodhana's advising Dronacharya and all that. So he steps in between, he stops his talking by blowing the conch and saying indirectly, let's get on to business. Tasya sanjanayan harsham kuruvruddha pitamaha. And also, give happiness to Duryodhana that we are all ready and we are going to start the fight, don't worry. Pitamaha, Bhishma Pitamaha, tasya harsham sanjanayane, increasing his happiness, Duryodhana's happiness, simmanadam vinadhya uchaihi shankam tadmau pratapavane. Pratapavane shankam simmanadam vinadhya uchaihi tadmau. He sounded that conch greatly, giving thereby the courage and happiness in Duryodhana's mind. Indirectly, after all, he is the chief of his army, he has to tell Duryodhana, don't worry, we will do a good job of it and you will be successful. He has to encourage him, and he does by blowing the conch. Blowing the conch is a part of the war cry. Before fighting the war, they blow the conch and chant slogans of greatness of the particular vibhaga of the army. Even today it is there. Jai Hind is a cry of the Indian Army's battle cry. Like, what is the effect of this? That creates a courage, a contentment, a hope in the minds of the fighters. That's what Pitamaha, Kuru Vruddha, the eldest Kuru, Bhishma, does to please Duryodhana. Kuru Vruddha Pitamaha tasya harsham sanjanayanne. The eldest of the Kuru clan, Bhishma, making Duryodhana happy, Pratapavan Shankam Simmanadam Uchaihi Vinadya Dadbau, created a mighty sound out of his conch. Tatas Shankascha Vedyascha Panavanaka Gomukaha Sahasaivabhyantyanta Sasabdastumulo Abhavate. So now the leader has blown the conch, indicating start of the war, and therefore everybody also blows his conch. That description is given in a bit detail here. Tataha, then Shankascha Vedyascha Panavanaka Gomukaha Sahasaiva Abhyahanta Saha Shabdaha Tumulaha Abhavate. Sahasaiva, immediately, suddenly. The moment Bhishma blew his conch, suddenly everybody else also blew the conches. Then suddenly bled forth all the conches. Sahasaiva Abhyahanyanta started blaring with the noise of the Shankas, conches. And how was that? Tumulo abhavate, he says. Tumulaha, tremendous, great noise. You can imagine, in a warfield, with so many generals, each one having a conch, is going to blow that conch, what a noise it creates. That is the word tumulaha. And what are the weapons making the noises? Shankaha, conches, beriyaha, kettle drums, anaka gomukaha, various types of drums which are beaten, and the bugle, cow horn made out of the cow horns, bugles, all of them created the sound. That sound is to instigate, stimulate, bring out courage of the fighters. That is the role of this noise. Tata shvetairhayiryukte mahate sandane stitau madavah pandavaschaiva divyau sankau pradhadmatuhu. Tataha, then what happened? Shvetaihi hayaihi yukte. Shveta, white, haya, horse. Shvetaihi hayaihi yukte, yoked with white horses. You know the rathas, carriers, they are with the horses, mighty, majestic horses, white in color. Shvetaihi hayaihi yukte mahati syandane. Syandana means chariot. Mahati, magnificent, great, very famous. Mahati syandane, magnificent chariot, stithau, seated, Madavaha, Krishna, Pandavaha, Pandava, sons of Pandu, Divyau Shankau Pradadmatuhu. When the Duryodhana's army, led by Bhishma, blew their horns and kettle drums and other weapons, the reply was given also by Pandava's side. Lord Krishna and all the Pandavas and others, they also blew their conches. A way to note here is Mahati. Mahati Sandane. Of course, it is Krishna's chariot, it has to be the best. But still, it has got a story behind it. Krishna was awarded or was given as a gift by Agni Deva a chariot. This chariot is not like all other chariots, but a special chariot given by Agni Deva for use by Krishna, with which he is using now. So that chariot, Krishna is seated and he is also blowing his horn. Madhava. Ma refers to Mahalakshmi. Dhavaha is carrying on the chest. Carrying Mahalakshmi on the chest. Who is that? Mahavishnu. And Krishna is an avatara of Mahavishnu. To indicate that the word Madhava has been used here. Moving on. Panchajanyam Hrishikeso Devadattam Dhananjayaha Pondram Dadmau Mahashankam Bhimakarma Vrikodaraha. All of them blew their conches. Their names are being given here. Panchadanyam Hrishikeshaha. Panchajanya was blown by Hrishikesha. Hrishikesha refers to Lord Krishna here. What is the meaning of Hrishikesha? It means the controller of the Lord, dictator of the minds and senses. Note the word is very important. Hrishikesha means the Lord of the mind and senses. All our ills, all our trouble, our attachments, our grief, everything is caused by the various senses and followed up by the mind, the master sense. It is they who drag us to all sorts of misery. And a wise man does not become a slave to the senses, but makes the senses his slave by controlling the mind and the sense organs. That is the difference between Krishna the Lord and we the humans. So that Krishna, who is Hrishikesha, he blew his conch called Panchajanya. Devadattam Dhananjaya. Dhanam Jayati iti Dhananjaya. Dhanam wealth Jayati wins over the wealth. Whose wealth? Arjuna is known for his expeditions against various erring kings. When those kings misbehave, Arjuna goes and defeats them and takes away all their wealth, which they were using for wrong purposes, and put them to correct use. Therefore, he is called Dhananjaya. Dhanam Jayati. He wins the wealth of the kings who misuse it. And after having won, he doesn't use it for himself, he uses it for good, useful, charitable purposes. Therefore, he is called Dhananjaya. Dhananjaya, his conch, Devadatta, he blew that. Poundram Dadmau Mahashankam Bhima Karma Vrikodaraha. Vrikodaraha. Vrika means wolf. Udaraha means stomach. Vrika Udaraha. Saha Yasya Udaraha Vrikavat Asti. He whose belly is like the belly of a wolf. What is the speciality? All of us, when we eat much, our bellies will blow up. In the case of the wolf, it doesn't blow up. It remains concave. No less in eating. Similarly, Bhima is no less in eating. But however much he eats, his paunch doesn't show up. Vrikodaraha. That is Bhima. And how is he Bhima Karma? Bhima means Bhayankara, Bhisha, indicative of terrible deeds. He is so strong, he can do any difficult job. Bhima Karma. And his conch Mahashankam, the great conch. What is the name? Poundra. Poundra, the great Shanka, conch, was Dadmo, blown by Bhima Karma, terrible doer, terrible deeds doer, Vrikodaraha, Bhima. Panchadanya was blown by Hrishikesha, Devadatta by Dhananjaya, and Poundra by Bhima. Moving on. Ananta Vijayam Raja Kunti Putro Yudhishthiraha Nakula Sahadevascha Sugoshamani Pushpakau. Some more conches are named here. Ananta Vijayam, the conch named Ananta Vijaya, by Raja Kunti Putraha, by King Yudhishthira. Being the eldest, he is the king, others are princes. Nakula Sahadevaha Sugosha Manipushpakau. Nakula and Sahadeva blew their conches named Sugosha, Su, nice, good, Ghosha, sound. Sugosha Mani Pushpakau, their conches. The king Yudhishthira blew his Ananta Vijaya. Nakula blew Sugosha and Sahadeva Manipushpaka. Kasyascha Parameshvasaha Shikandi cha Maharataha Drishtadhyumno Viratascha Satyakischa Parajitaha. And the ruler of Kasi, Kasyaha, Parameshwasaha, the great, I told you, Ishwasa means archer. Parameshwasa, extremely good archer, adept in archery. Who? Kasya, the Raja of Kasi. And Shikandi Maharataha, a great warrior sitting in Ratha. Maharataha Shikandi. And Drishtadhyumna, Virata, Satyaki, who are all aparajitaha, invincible people, who cannot be won against. All of them also blew. Drupadro Draupadeyascha Sarvasa Prativipate Saubhadrascha Mahabahu Shankan Dadmuh Pratak Pratak. So one after the other, Pratak Pratak, Shankan Dadmuh blew their conches. Who? Drupada, Draupadeyaha, Draupadi's sons, Sarvasaha, all of them, Saubhadraha, Subhadra's son, Mahabahu, the mighty armed Subhadra's son. All of them, Shankan, Dadmuhu, blew their conches, Pratak, respectively, their conches. He addresses Prithvi Pate, O Lord of the earth. Now, there's a meaning in Sanjaya. Sanjaya, who all this is told by whom? By Sanjaya. To whom? To Dhritarashtra. So when he is saying, he uses the word He Prithvi Pate, He ruler of the earth. It has got a significance. That is, a monarch should take all care to see that his kingdom is by no way destroyed. No harm comes to his kingdom. That is the duty of the king, monarch to do. Here the monarch is Dhritarashtra. It is his duty to see that nothing bad happens to his kingdom. And did Dhritarashtra do it? He didn't do it. If he had done it, he wouldn't have allowed this war to happen. He would have made some compromise. Even Krishna even came to the extent of saying, give only 5 villages, that will do. He didn't ask the whole kingdom when Dhritarashtra didn't want to give. He was prepared for the compromise. But Dhritarashtra was not prepared to. And by refusing bluntly like that, the war became inevitable. And a war, when it happens, is going to destroy both sides. And as far as he is concerned, his own country, which he is bound to look after well, is going to suffer. O Mahipate, you are a great monarch of the land, protect your land. Instead of that, what are you doing here? enabling a war to happen. These many words are indicated by that word, Mahipate. Mind you, these words are not just put like that. Every word has got a significance behind it. Even the names of Krishna in different places, Arjuna in different places. In a subsequent place you will see Krishna indicts Arjuna and calls him, hey Kunti Putra. Why? Kunti is full of devotion to Krishna. And at one point, Arjuna talks as if he has no devotion to Krishna, no belief in God, as if he is the decider. So to remind him, he says, my dear friend, you are Kunti Putra. Remember that. So like that, at various places, various names are used to indicate, to point out a particular person. That the term by which you are addressed makes a lot of difference. In a small level, in our houses, a mother, how she calls the child, she uses strong word when she wants to warn him of wrongdoing. And when she does muddu, when she pets the child, what other words she uses? Even we do that. So the words that you choose to address a person make a difference. And that is what Sanjaya does when he is addressing Dhritarashtra. Calls him, you are a Mahipati, remember it. Don't allow your kingdom to ruins, to go to ruins. Sagosho Dhartarashtranam Hridayani Vyadharayate Nabascha Prithivin Chaiva Tumulo Vyanunadayan Sagoshaha Dhartarashtranam Hridayani Vyadharayate. Sagosha, that tumultuous noise made by the various conches, battle drums, etc., and the pipes shook the hearts of the Kauravas with fear. Nabascha Prithivim Chaiva Tumulo Vyanadayane. This sound is shaking, resounding, is being echoed by the space and by the earth. It is so great, so much fear creating in the minds of Kauravas. You may ask, sir, both sides warriors are standing. Kauravas on one side and Pandavas on the other side. Both are blowing conches. Why do you say that shook the hearts of the Kauravas only? It should have shook the hearts of Pandavas also, isn't it? Why not make a mention of it? You are partial. No. The point is, when you have got great faith in your heart on the God, you will not have fear. Only he fears who doesn't have faith in God, who doesn't believe that God will look after, God will take care. Pandavas have got complete faith in Krishna. That is the reason when Duryodhana asked for Krishna's armies, Pandavas said, "Oh Krishna, you be on my side. Krishna, one person is enough than his mighty army." That shows their faith in Krishna and their belief in the confidence in the divine power. And once you have a confidence, you are not afraid. That is why the sloka here says, Sagoshaha Dhartarashtanam Hridayani Vyadarete Pandavanam Hridayani Na Vyadarete. It did not frighten the hearts of Pandavas, but frightened the hearts of Kauravas, because they didn't have any faith in the divine power. Duryodhana even goes to the extent of humiliating Krishna. because in his foolish thinking he doesn't recognize the divinity of Lord Krishna, whereas Pandavas did. That is the reason. Atavyavasthitan drishtva dhartarashtraन् kapidvajah pravritte shastra sampade dhanurudhyamya pandavah Hrishikesam tada vakyam idamahamayipate. This is the last sloka where both sides are described and they are getting ready for war. Atha vyavasthitane dhartarashtrane drishtva, after seeing the Dhartarashtras, Dhritarashtra's sons and their allies standing ready for war, Kapidvajaha, Arjuna, whose flag has the symbol of monkey, Pravritte Shastra Sampade, before beginning to discharge the weapons, Dhanurudhyamya, lifting his dhanush, Pandavaha, that is Arjuna, Hrishikesam, Krishna, to Krishna, Tada, then, Vakyam Idam, this word, Aha, said, Mahipate, He Mahipate. He Mahipate, O Lord of the earth, Atha, Pandavaha, Vyavasthitan Drishva, Dhartarashtrana Drishva, Kapidvajaha Pandavaha, Shastra Samprate Pravritte, Dhanuhu Udhyamya, Hrishikesam, Idam Vakyam, Aha. He Mahipate, O Lord of the earth, that is Dhritarashtra, Sanjaya addresses him. Atha, then. What Atha means? Thereafter. Whereafter? After having described the various generals on both sides and after having described to start the war, both sides blew their conches and other weapons. After that what happened? Kapidvajaha Pandavaha. Arjuna, whose flag has got a monkey, Dhartarashtrane Vyavasthitane Dhartarashtrane Drishtva, after seeing the sons of Dhritarashtra assembled for the war, Shastra Sampate Pravitte, the war which is about to begin with the discharge of the arms, at that stage, Arjuna, what does he do? He takes his Gandiva, comes before Arjuna. Dhanuhu Udhyamya, Hrishikesam, to Krishna, Idam Vakyam Aha, said this word. What does he say? We will see next. Before that, a couple of points. Kapidvajaha. Why Kapidvajaha? Kapi is monkey. The monkey in the flag of Arjuna indicates Hanuman. Hanuman the Great made possible Rama's war, Rama's warriors fighting and winning the war. Of course, ultimately Rama is the Lord. He is the one who decides. But physically, nimitta matram, for the purpose of physical happening, Hanuman played a great role in the war to succeed. Therefore, that Hanuman is present in the Dvaja of Arjuna. Now, what words he says, let us see. Shloka number 21. Shlokas 21 to 23 show Arjuna's impatience. So all the three we will read together and take up. Arjuna Uvacha Senayoruvayormadhye Ratham Stapaya Mechyuta Yavadetan Nirikshoham Yoddukamanavastitan Kairmaya Sahayodhavyam Asmin Ranasamudhyame Yosya Mananaveksheham Yayetetra Samagata Dharta Rashtrasya Durbuddhe Yuddhe Priya Chikeshavaha. This is the third part, Arjuna's impatience to fight the war. Arjuna, a great warrior, fought so many battles before the Mahavar. He is not afraid of anybody. On the other hand, he wants to fight and do with it so that Kauravas are defeated and the Rajya is taken. So much utsaga, so much excited he is. He says to Krishna, Arjuna Uvacha, Senayor Uvayor Madhye Ratham Sthapaya Me Achyuta. Achyuta. Hey Achyuta, hey Krishna. The word Achyuta is the name of Vishnu. It comes in Vishnu Sahasranama. What does it mean? One who does not deviate from what he is known for, his divine glory. Once he makes up a mind, he does it. He doesn't slip from that. Here, he is decided to make the Pandavas win, and there's no slipping from that. That's the indication of the word Achyuta. Hey Achyuta, O Krishna, who has taken over to see that we win? And who is Achyuta here? He is the driver of the Ratha of Arjuna. Sarathi, Partha Sarathi. So he addresses him, Hey Achyuta, me Ratham, my car, Ubayoho, Senayoho, Madhye, Stapaya. Senayor, Ubayor, Madhye, Stapaya. Please position my chariot in between the two armies. Why? Because he wants to see who all have come to fight with him and with whom he can choose to fight. You don't fight with Tom, Dick and Harry. You fight with those who are your equal, isn't it? So he wants to find out first who are present and whom he is going to choose for fighting. Yavate, so that Etan Nirikshe Aham, I may survey all these people. Who are the people? Yoddukamane avastitane. They are assembled there for doing yuddha. Yoddukamane. With the kama of yuddha. Avastitane, present. Kair maya saha yodhavyam. With me, who is capable, fit enough to fight. Asmin rana samudhyame. In this beginning of the battle, let me choose with whom I am going to fight. You know, a great king doesn't go and fight with a soldier. A great general doesn't fight with a chota soldier, chota chief. He chooses his equivalent. So, Arjuna now wants to choose his equivalent. Yotsyamanane aveksheham ya yete atra samagataha. Atra, here in this battlefield, yaha yete samagataha, those who have come and assembled, yosyamanane, ready to fight, aveksheham, let me have a look. And why have they come like that? Why they have come to fight with, they know Pandavas are great, Krishna is on their side, still they have come, why? Because they want to please Duryodhana. Please Duryodhana. धातराष्ट्रस्य दुर्बुद्धेः युद्धे प्रिय चिकीर्षवः. Yuddhe in the battle. What type of battle? Why it came about? Because of Durbuddhi. Who's Durbuddhi? Dhatarashtra, sons of Dhritarashtra. And Priya Chikeshavaha, they want to please him. Priya, please, Chikeshavaha, willing to please. Willing to please the Dhritarashtra's sons who have got that evil mind. These warriors have come, they are assembled before me. Let me have a look at them and let me choose whom I am going to fight with. So now Arjuna is having a deep look. Let him have a deep look. We will continue in our next session.